Hey, it's Christopher Lacaria, owner of Roundabout Records, back with the fourth installment of Famous, Infamous, and Obscure. And for today's video, I'm going to be discussing a very famous band and a very obscure album of theirs that, honestly, only myself and a few other people I've talked to know about, and that is the Monkees' 1968 album, Head, which also was the soundtrack to the movie Head. Um, this album is absolutely amazing. It's not like any Monkees material you've ever heard, and actually, it's what's playing right now. It's extremely psychedelic. Um, the Monkees at this point in time were wanting to separate ties completely with their label, be done with the TV show, and be a real band. Um, I mean, as you can hear with the music that's in the background right now, it's very, very experimental for even bands in 1968. I mean, you have Mellotron, you have synthesizers, you have lots of reverb, lots of delay, echo, and I mean, just a mind-blowing album. Now, for Monkees fans at this time, you got to think their target audience was preteen girls through teenage girls. And this is the last thing a preteen girl wanted to hear, was some trippy music by teenage idols. Um, Now, the whole point and purpose of the Monkees changing their sound, which actually a working title for the movie and album was Changes, um, was that, like I said, they wanted to break away from the label. Um, and they had had a string of #1 albums up until this point. This album would peak at number 45 on the Billboard 200. This song right here, the Purpoise song, which is the lead single from the album, it didn't even crack the top 40. It made it to number 62 on the charts. Now, again, the album was released in November of '68 as a soundtrack to the movie. And it would be the Monkees' only theatrical release. Jack Nicholson actually co-wrote the movie and had a cameo in the movie. This would also prove to be Peter Tork's last album with the Monkees until 1987's reunion, which came about because of Nick at Night airing episodes of the Monkees. At the time of its release, Rolling Stone only gave it 1.5 stars, which they have definitely changed their tune as when they recently released their top 25 soundtracks of all time, it came in at number 25. One of the major complaints of Monkees fans was not only the music being experimental and psychedelic, but the dark undertone of the music. Which, honestly, all Monkees songs had a dark undertone in the past. You take Daddy's song, for example, Super Happy song about a boy whose father abandons him, but it's set to super happy music with super happy singing. You look at Pleasant Valley Sunday, which is essentially about being trapped in the fake world of suburbia. So the Monkees, it wasn't necessarily straying away from lyrics, but just musically what changed. Now, the cover itself is very unique. You will only find this ultra-reflective cover, which, I mean, you can see it mirrors me, with the original first pressings from '68, because it proved to be very difficult to manufacture. It was actually breaking the printers at the record label, or at the record pressing plants, because this is actually aluminum, and yeah, it's difficult to manufacture anything with an aluminum cover like this. At that time it was. Later releases don't even have a reflective cover. Now, for the movie, it starts off with Mickey jumping off a bridge. He's rescued by mermaids. The movie was supposed to be a deconstruction of the entertainment industry in general, as the band felt trapped, and essentially you're put into a box, which them being trapped in various boxes is a recurring theme throughout the movie. There's appearances by Sonny Liston, Frank Zappa, Tony Basil of Hey Mickey fame. Hey Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Now the movie itself ends with the whole band being pursued by all of the antagonists from the movie, and they all jump off the same bridge that Mickey jumped off of into the water. And at last they're free and whatnot, only to discover that they're trapped inside of an aquarium that's being transported on the back of a truck. And that's how the movie ends. But again, the movie made no sense. It's a bunch of abstract scenes that go from scene to scene. There's nothing linear about it. Honestly, it's unwatchable. It's right up there with the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour as far as being able to sit down and watch it. Now, once again, the movie, terrible. This album, though, it's definitely in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. I was completely blown away the first time that I heard it, which I can say that it wasn't in my childhood. I didn't even know this existed because it's so obscure until I was about 17. And it was actually the Purple song that I heard and just blew my mind. And the rest of the album is just fantastic. I highly recommend it. If you can find a copy, get it. An original copy. Because the tapes weren't stored very well. They degraded over time. And the audio quality just isn't there with later releases from the 80s onward. But if you can find an original 68 pressing like I have here, the audio quality is unreal. Sonically speaking, the lows hit low, the highs are crisp, the mid-range is smooth. It's a beautifully mastered album. But yeah, highly recommended. If you haven't listened to it, give it a listen. If you like it and you want a copy, an original copy, I have this original from '68 that you can purchase, as well as a Japanese pressing of the soundtrack. That is on audiophile quality vinyl. Came with the OBI strip and everything. Other than that, don't have much more to say. It's rather obscure. There's not a lot of reviews on the movie. There's not a lot of information about the album and the production itself. The label hated it. The movie company hated it, which both are RCA. And it ultimately spelled the end of the band, and that's what they wanted. They wanted out of that box. And they got out of the box, both with the music and the end of the group. Other than that, I don't have any more to say. I'll be set up here this Saturday, July 9th, at Miles Produce in Morgantown. And then again on the 16th of July at Sun Moon Apparel. And I have a couple more dates coming up here in July that I'll be set up. Again in Morgantown. And then in Fairmont at Doc John's at the end of the month. So, hope to see you at one of those. Snag a copy of this if you want one. Other than that, peace out, everyone. You all are awesome. I'll see you next time.